Hey loves, this is Bobby and I am here with another video. Did you like my new intro screen? I love it. A friend of mine drew the picture and her name is Lena Lestrange. I will link her down below. She has really cool art and you can follow her on Instagram. I love it. I now have an intro screen. What? So like I said, new video, and surprisingly it is not a readathon video. This is going to be my July wrap-up video. I read some awesome books in July. I'm not going to be talking about every single book because I talked already about a lot of these, about some of them in length, which were all my NetGalley arcs in a vlog video, which I'll link somewhere. But I will be talking about 23 of the books that I did read, and yeah. If you would have told me I was going to be able to read 23 books, well, more than 23 books in a month, I would have never believed you, but I have them staring at me and holy crap, I am impressed with myself. I'm loving it. I'm loving my, reading so much right now, and here's to hoping that I can keep on going. I read all of these for the Popsy Culture Readathon, which I talked about before, and I am so excited because I managed to finish my goal of doing at least one line from every single one of the bingo cards. So yay, whoop 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 whoop. So let's get started with this because it's a lot of books to talk about and this video is probably going to be long as hell. So I'm going to be talking about from my lowest rated to my highest rated, but within the groups, like all my 3 stars are not in any particular order or anything. I kind of just stacked them up. I'm going to grab them from there. So let's get started with my first and my only 1-star book, which was When Dimple Met Rishi, Sanya Meno. What can I say about this book? I obviously did not like it. I try and give books that I at least finish at least 2 stars, but I literally have nothing in this book that I liked. This follows the story of a girl named Dimple who is going away to a summer program to be to get some experience in being a computer kind of programmer. That's what she's really interested in. She comes from a traditional Indian household where her mother wants her to basically only care about her appearance and looking for a husband, but Dimple wants to have a career and wants to do so much more. It was so promising in the beginning. I was loving her. I loved how strong of a person she was. And then we kind of keep on moving. When she, unbeknownst to her, when she goes to this summer program, her mother and father have secretly talked to another family and have them send their son to meet her there because they want to arrange a marriage between them. I absolutely hated the fact that they did not tell her that, and like, I don't know if it's just a cultural thing, but also I do not like matchmaking or arranged marriages. That's just not a trope I enjoy at all. But I had picked this line for the bingo card, and it was the last book I needed to get the line, and I had to read this, so I had to finish it. I did finish it. But at first, when Dimple meets Rishi, she doesn't like him, and he comes off like a fucking creep, and she kind of defended herself, and I was still on the, okay, Dimple's awesome, I like it. But that's where it ended because I did not care about the romance. I didn't care about the characters. I fucking could not stand Rishi. The entire book is her hating all of the, rich white kids, which I thought would have been awesome. Like, how do you fuck that up? But no, all she does is complain the entire time about how they make fun of her, when literally all she does the entire book is make fun of them. Like, there's no kind of high ground there, and she calls them the Amber zombies, like Abercrombie. Yeah, it was just, and the writing was really, really immature, which was really odd for this type of book with the whole arranged marriage type of setting, because the whole thing is written more like a middle grade book, but she's supposed to be 18, and I did not care for it. And like I said, I didn't like the relationship between Dimples and Rishi. It just and I didn't like any characters. There was like no character development. I didn't care for the plot. There was nothing I liked, so it got the 1 star. Next I am going to talk about the one 2-star book that I had, which the only reason this didn't get 1 star is because I managed to find the one thing about it that I did like, and that was the whole, you know, gothic, haunted type of feeling to it. It had a really cool atmosphere, but sadly that's where it ended. I did film a rant video, like spoilery and all, like a non-spoiler slash spoilery like review rant about this book because I was so pissed off as soon as I finished it. I haven't uploaded it. I don't know if I will. If you're interested in that, let me know. But the book that got 2 stars and just barely was The 10th Girl by Sarah Faring. I hated this fucking book. I hated it, but it had such a cool setting. It had so much damn promise, but this is also like every review and everything about it constantly says it has a twist ending you'll never see coming. You'll never see it. It's just, no, you can never guess it. Well, if you have the hardback edition of this book, don't take the, the sleeve off of it, because if you do, there is an imprinting on the actual hardcover that gives away the giant plot twist. I guessed it as soon as I took the cover off, and the reason I took the cover off is because I cannot stand to read hardback books with it on, because all it does is slip all over the place. So yeah, there's really only one way to kind of take the design that's imprinted on it, and I was pissed off the entire time I read the book. I did the audiobook, and that was the only reason I finished it. There is no character development. The setting was awesome, but the plot just was kind of all over the place. If Sarah Faring would have stuck with this about like the way this originally should have been, it would have been amazing. But tried to add those twists and turns, and it just fucking sucked. Really quick, this follows a girl named Mavi, who is in Argentina. She is fleeing for her life, and she ends up going to teach under false identity as a teacher in this. It used to be a boarding school, but it had like a curse on it. A bunch of girls went missing and stuff. They're opening it back up. She's going to go teach there. Everything's creepy. Like I said, the setting is awesome. Like the house is so fucking creepy, and at first it's building up the tension, but there's a second point of view in here where I don't want to talk about it because it kind of gives away the plot twist, but the second point of view gets really strange, and then when you kind of, you know, like I said, when you figure out what's going on, I just didn't find it worth finishing. But I was doing this one for Reading Rush, and yeah, I hated it. I hated it so much. Okay, now we are into my 3-star rated books. This has the longest group. None of these were bad. I just couldn't give them the 4-star because of whatever reasons. This first one though, I did really enjoy. It was another one that had a lot of potential, but just didn't meet it. Like there was so much more that could have gone on that would have just fucking made this fantastic, but sadly it didn't. And that is Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. I did enjoy this. It was really fun. Super tropey. Like if there is a YA fantasy trope, it's in this book. But it was really enjoyable. This follows a girl named Theo who she was a princess. Her mother was killed. Her entire country has been invaded and her people have been enslaved. She is still treated as, well, she's a slave basically, and kept hostage and only brought out to show everybody how the new ruler has taken over everything, and she is known as the Ash Princess. She has to wear this crown made of ash, which you can kind of see on the cover, and she is trying to find a way to fight back because she wants to free her people. Theo was one of those characters where I really liked, but a lot of the time I wanted to smack her because she kept making really stupid decisions. And there's a lot of really promising things to this book, but I just felt like Laura Sebastian kept pulling herself away from fully committing. Like she could have gone so hard with this book and it would have been fucking phenomenal, but we kind of ended up in a middle ground just fully tropey YA fantasy. I am interested in reading the second part. I already have the book somewhere, but I am going to keep going because I have a lot of hope still for this. And like I said, it's really enjoyable, cheesy and tropey, but really fun. So I do recommend this one. Okay, let's go on with this 3-star train I have going here. The next book that I'm going to talk about really quick is The Ice Cream Man. This is a comic book. I went into this with a little high hopes and didn't quite meet them, and holy hell, stop reflecting everything. I liked it. It was weird, but some of these are like different kind of short stories that all tie in together that have to do with the Ice Cream Man. I liked some stories more than other. There was one in here though that had to do with an aging rock star, where he meets the different muses from some of the most famous songs. Like he meets like Eleanor Rigby and stuff like that, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed that one. But besides that, none of the other stories really stuck out to me too much. I do have the second volume. I do plan on reading more because I'm totally interested, because this dude is just like wreaking havoc on this fucking poor street of people, or this neighborhood, and I want to know what's going to happen because it was weird, but it was fun weird. So here's to hoping that the second one is a little better. Okay, the next one on my 3-star rating is Meet Cute Club by Jack Harbin. This was really cute, but this is an LGBT rom-com, opposites attract type of thing. I originally went into this as swapping it out because I didn't feel like it really met the enemies to lover trope that I needed, so I did this under I believe it was rom-com. This follows 2 men, Jordan and Rex. Yes, I'm terrible with names, but Jordan and Rex. Jordan runs a book club that reads all the kind of romancy, tropey type of books that he just genuinely enjoys. Rex is more of the fantasy type of sci-fi, reads everything else and kind of makes fun of Jordan when he comes into the bookstore that Rex works at, and then he ends up joining his book club and starting to help him, and it was really cute, but it could have been like a lot shorter. Like if this was more of a novella, I think I might have rated it a little higher. I did enjoy it, but like I said, it just didn't have anything that really super stood out to me. It was really fun though. I'm really glad that I did get around to it. The next one was one of the more books that I was excited to read about, and kind of let me down a little bit as well, but I did really enjoy it. I do want to read the second one, but I'm not in any like hurry for it, and that is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. This is a sapphic romance, witch. They're teen witches. You've got sapphic romance, you have cutesiness, but you also have a deep dark secret going on. There's a lot going on. It was really fun, but I guessed the whole plot twist literally from the beginning, so that kind of brought it down for me, but it wasn't too bad. The main reason why this got a 3-star for me is because of one of the characters. I hated her so much. She was awful the entire book. And she kept coming up. Like, if she was like a little more in the background, I could have ignored it. But she was one of the main characters, and she just irritated me so bad. She was a super toxic, horrible person, and I just hated it. I wish we would have had just a little more of the new romance that was going on in it between 2 of the girls. But there's a lot of twists and turns. It's really fun. I do recommend it. Like I said, I do want to read the second one. I'm not in any hurry. I don't have it on my shelf or anything yet. But it has a lot of promise. I really hope the second one gets more into the relationship between the main character and the new girlfriend. But really quick, I should have said this first. This follows a girl who is a witch. Like I said, terrible with names. Hannah. she's a witch. Her ex-girlfriend is also a witch, but in this world, no one can know about that they're witches. If they do, if anybody that is not a witch finds out, she could be stripped of all her power, and people do not genuinely survive that. So her ex-girlfriend, though, is kind of a shitty person and keeps using magic, you know, in person. And then there is also bunch of trouble that is happening. Something has happened in the past between them which caused the breakup, but there is a new girl that has moved to town, and she is an adorable ballerina. I really loved that character. I thought she was really cute, and like I said, I wish her and the main character would have had just a little bit more interaction, but the ex kind of kept coming up a little more, which kind of just took away from the cutesiness of it. I really liked the relationship with the main character Hannah and her best friend. It was a very strong friendship, and I just appreciated it. And like I said, it didn't stick out to me too much, but it was still really cute. Okay, for the next 3-star, this is a 3.5 star. I really liked this one. I got this one, I'm in a pen pal book group, and this was the first book that I got from my pen pal. We're supposed to be sending some of our favorite books, you know, to our partners, even if it's outside of their genre, which this definitely was. And it was even out of my partner's, what you call it, normal, you know, genre and everything that she likes. But she said she really liked it. It was recommended to her by her mom. She loved it. I can see why. I didn't absolutely love it, but I did really enjoy it. It was something really different, and I think the reason why I gave it a more higher rating was the fact that it was just really unexpected for me. Like, I would have never in 100 years picked this book up, but I liked it. And that is Watchers by Dean Koontz. This is the first book by Dean Koontz I've ever read. I've grown up seeing his books. I've just never picked them up. So this was, I guess everyone says this is like supposed to be like his best book. I am grading this one kind of on a curve because this was written in like the late 80s. So I do try and take that into account when I read older books, because writing was very different and, you know, it's kind of cheesy, but I did enjoy that. This follows a man who finds a dog in the woods. This takes place in the LA area, and I live in the LA area, so it was really cool to kind of read, you know, about somewhere where I knew. But he finds this dog that protects him from this mysterious thing in the woods. I did not know this was going to be a supernatural type of book. Like, I thought Dean Koontz made like a thriller crime book, so when the supernatural shit started happening, I was really taken back, like, what? But he gets saved by this dog. This dog, he ends up bringing it home with him, and he discovers that this dog is like incredibly smart. He's been like kind of genetically engineered, and then there's this creepy monster that's coming to get him, and then there's this like supernatural hitman that's coming, and there's a lot of shit. And then there's this lady, Nora, who is like, I didn't care for Nora too much. She was one of the ones that kind of dragged it down because she was such the damsel in distress, and she didn't know how to survive by herself. She does get better throughout the book, but the beginning of her just kind of frustrated me. But yeah, it's kind of all over the place. It's super cheesy, and like when they have to kind of get, you know, like new identity type of things, it's totally 80s spy movie type of shit where none of this is real. Like, it's just like, holy crap, that's corny, but I liked it. It was just really fun to me. I don't know if I'll ever read something by Dean Koontz again, because I don't know where else to kind of go from here, because people say this is kind of his best one, but I liked it. It was weird. I liked the ending, and I really liked the dog. Like, I love dogs, so having a book with a dog in it that was like the main character was really interesting. But it was fun, and I'm glad I'm glad she sent this to me and, you know, got me out of my comfort zone. Okay, this next one, oh, I might get some hate for. I might get some hate for it because I went in with the highest of high hopes. I have heard literally like nothing bad about this book. So I went in, I try not to listen to, you know, reviews or anything. And I think that's the one thing now with being on, you know, BookTube and listening to so many people talk about different books. It's kind of messing up my original way I graded books, because before I was like if I enjoyed it, but now I'm like hearing about these books, they get really hyped up for me, and then when I don't like it, I'm kind of crushed and it just kind of drops the rating for me. This one, everybody seems to like it, and for me, I gave it 3.5 stars. I couldn't even, you know, put it as 4 on Goodreads. I had to go for 3 because I don't know. That is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Oh, I wanted to like this. I wanted to like it so bad. I loved the beginning of it, and this is a pretty big chunker. But I had so many things about this. Like, the first part, I really liked it. I love Nahiri, the main female character. This has dual perspective. I really could not stand Ollie. Like, I fucking hated him. I hated him from the beginning. I hated him to the end. I did not enjoy him. But I loved the world. The world building in this is probably like one of my absolute favorite, next to like Lanny Taylor. Like, I love the world in here. Like, I just want to be swept away. It was just some of the plot of it was kind of all over the place. And then Nahiri is kind of like kept talked about, like she's the, you know, the street smart. She know, you know, she's too smart to be fooled. Honey gets fooled and does some stupid ass shit this entire damn book. Like, how are you gonna say someone is street smarts like this and then all she does is fuck up? Like, it kept just like started irritating me. I did like, there's a kind of love triangle almost. I don't know what's going on with that, but I didn't like that part. I did like the main romance that was initially started in here, but the kind of plot twist at the end, I saw that coming a million miles away. So like, there just wasn't anything that really stood out to me. Like, I don't know, I can't pinpoint exactly what it was I didn't love about this. I don't know. This is the one I don't know what the hell. I went in with such high hopes and it just kind of, they got crushed. My hopes were crushed. I do want to keep going on with the series though. Do not get me wrong. I do plan on reading the next book. When? I don't know, but I do plan on reading it. It was just, I think it just got so hyped up for me that it didn't live up. It did not for me. So please don't hate me. Okay, this next one is also a 3.5. I did this one for, I can't remember which tab it was for, but I really enjoyed it. I went in not knowing absolutely anything about it, and I've been getting into kind of like YA thrillers a little more, and I liked it. It was fun, and that is The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. This follows the story of a girl who, her oldest sister had killed herself. 2 other girls from her sister's cheerleading squad were killed, and then I believe there was like a pregnancy, and there was all kinds of shit just going on. Like, there was a lot going on in this book, and I really liked the way it was told. Like, it was just, you didn't know what was really happening. I did guess the plot twist on it, but that didn't take away from it. Like, I try not to judge books if I guess the ending or the plot twist, because 9.5 times out of 10 I will guess the ending like almost immediately. I don't know why, I'm just really good at it, and so I try not to let that, you know, really affect the book for me. But I really did like this one. It was twisty, it was turny, it was all over the place. I don't really know what else to say about it. I don't like talking about thrillers too much. I feel like I might accidentally say something that will give it away, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I would read something else from this author, so there we go. The first 4-star is a comic book, and that is The Old Guard. This is the first volume. This was just made into a Netflix movie, and let me tell you, it's one of the best adaptations ever. It's like almost word for word an adaptation, and what they did change was a good change. Like, it was just an action-packed, cool read. That's what I wanted. I wanted just action and awesomeness, and that's what I got. I got some badass women. We have a male gay couple, which was fucking awesome. And well, most of this was just kind of like you've seen it 100 times. Like, they're an immortal group of soldiers that turn mercenary, and you know, the government want them. But within that, I did really like the characters. I definitely want to pick up volume 2. I really loved the male romance in here. Like, there is a scene in here that they cut off a few lines in the movie, but it was still like one of the like hands down like most romantic speeches I'd ever fucking read. Like, I swooned. I went, damn dude, you got me hooked. Like, it was like, like, damn, I did not expect to get some hardcore like fucking romance, most romantic speech I've ever fucking read in a goddamn action comic. But it was in there. Like, it was beautiful. I want to read it to you, but I don't want to spoil it for you. But it was fun. Like, I got through it really quick. It's a really quick read, but like I said, we've got some awesome shit going on in it. I definitely want to pick up the second one. I hope that Netflix decides to make a second movie. So yeah, I can fully on recommend if you just want some badass people and surprisingly queer. So fuck yeah. The next book on here was one I still couldn't believe I had never read up until this point. I've seen the movie 100,000 times, it's one of my favorite movies, and I did really enjoy the book, and that is Matilda. I'm pretty sure you know what Matilda's about. It's a little girl who gets some powers, and she loves to read books, and what else can I say? It's amazing, and if you haven't seen the movie, what the hell is wrong with you? Watch the movie. It's amazing. I will say I did enjoy the movie a little more. It was just the ending, which I have found when it comes to him. I always mess up his name and I don't know why. But Dahl's books, I always seem to like the endings of the movies more than I do in the book. His book endings always feel super rushed, and the movies kind of tend to stretch it out. And for this, that was definitely why I didn't go with a full 5 stars, is because of the ending. I love the ending from the movie so much. I'm sorry, I have to be biased. It's such a great ending in the movie, and I was a little sad that it kind of got cut short with the book. Like, Also, it's like, I know all of his books, they're like British, but I'm so used to Danny DeVito and it being American that when I was reading it, I was thrown. Like, it threw me off. I just kept picturing Danny DeVito doing a British accent and it was fucking my head up. But I loved it. I thought it was cute. I'm so glad, and I'm so mad that I didn't read this sooner. The next 2 4-star books are both from the same author, different series though. I started this book years ago. I put it down. I got into a bad reading slump and then just never picked it back up, but I'm very glad. I'm super late to the party. You can tell me I'm late. I'm always late to the party. But that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Like I said, you know what this is about. I ain't gonna even tell you what it's about. I enjoyed this a lot. Like, I loved it so much. I couldn't give it the full 5 because I just felt like something was missing for me. But I cannot wait. I have the rest of the series. Can't wait to get to it. I need to get to it as soon as I can. Not this month. Well, not in August because I'm fully stacked in August. But I need to know what's going to happen. I am so mad I never picked it back up. But I am like on the V.E. Schwab train now again. I loved everything I've read by her. I've loved. Like, I've never given any of her books lower than 4 stars, and I need to finish this series. The next book is also by V.E. Schwab, and the first book is one of my all-time favorite books. I have it on my favorite shelf. I've read it like 2 or 3 times, and I could just never get myself to pick up Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I loved the first one so much that I was just afraid that this one was not going to live up to the hype for me and it would have crushed me. But I picked it up for my popsy culture and I am so glad I did because holy crap, it was fucking awesome. I didn't give it 5 stars. There was just certain parts I wish would have gotten more into it. But like I said, the parts that I wish would have gotten a little more deeper were ones I can't really talk about because I don't want to spoil it. But I loved it. I loved all the fucking characters. They were so cool. I was invested. I did the audiobook and I really, really enjoyed the audiobook. I kind of want to go back and listen to the audiobook of Vicious now because I've only ever read Vicious and haven't done the audiobook. So I kind of want to dive back into this series and do both books back to back whenever I get a chance because I was just blown away. I love how just power hungry and evil some of these fucking people are. Like, it's just, I need myself some villains and I need myself some well-written villains. That's the problem. I need well-written villains and I loved them all in here because they're just fucked up people doing fucked up shit and oh, I loved it. Okay, this next one is the last of my 4-star books and oh, I love this one. I loved it so much. And that is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I didn't know anything about this. If you've seen any of my other videos when I talked about this, I had no idea what this plot was about. When I went into Night Circus, I didn't know what that one was about either, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave Night Circus 4 stars. I gave The Starless Sea 4 stars as well, but I liked this one a lot more than Night Circus. This was just reminds me why I love books so much. This whole book is just about books and stories and the magic that happens in them, and oh, it swept me away and I didn't want to come out. I did do the audiobook for this one and it was phenomenal. I definitely recommend it. I want to do the audiobook to the Night Circus now, but I loved it. The only reason I couldn't give this 5 stars is because near a little past the middle, it started to drag for me and I was like, okay, we have all this awesomeness going on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And it didn't. It kind of just sagged a little bit and it just, oh, I was so mad about it because it was so wonderful and then it just started dipping, but then it picked back up. I loved the ending. Like, it was amazing and it was beautiful and oh, I loved it so much. I would definitely do a reread of this. I would definitely do the audiobook again because like I said, the audiobook just swept me away and took me into this magical world that I didn't want to come back from. But yeah, I loved it so much. I feel like not going to talk about this one either because at this point I think everybody else has read this except me. But this is a story about stories and like I said, if you love just the fantastical, very magical writing in the Night Circus, you will love this. But if you don't like that very whimsical, dreamy, super detailed world, what the hell's going on type of thing, you might not like this, but that is my jam. This was amazing. I'm so glad I finally got a chance to read it. Okay, this next book is the first of my 5 stars. This is also a reread, but I had read it like 15 years ago and rereading it again, I did really enjoy it. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I'm doing a Dark Tower readathon with Charlotte over on Twitter, and I know a lot of people don't like this one, but I liked it the first time. I really liked it the second time. It held up for me, and well, it held up better than my copy because this poor copy has been to hell and back, and that is The Drawing of the Three by Stephen King. This is the second book in the Dark Tower series, and like I said, I've talked about it. I like it. I know a lot of people don't, but I dug it, and I cannot wait to get into the next book for next month. Yeah, my poor copy is literally like falling apart so bad, but yeah, this was 5 stars, but like I said, it was a reread and I've talked about it. Okay, the next book I'm going to talk about is one of the NetGalley arcs that I got, and I loved it so much that I'm putting it on here because it was the only 5-star of my NetGalleys that I did read, and holy crap, I loved it so much, and that is My Riot. This is a graphic novel. and it takes place in the height of the Riot Girl punk scene. And when I was in high school, well, middle school to high school, was a total fucking punk. I had Liberty spikes, and I went to my prom with a fucking like mohawk and everything, like a bright pink mohawk. And so this just spoke to me when this is the story of a girl who her whole life she just wanted to be a ballerina, and when she's getting older now, she's realizing that it is a very kind of toxic environment for her, especially at the time. And she's told to lose more and more weight, but it just doesn't fit her body. She starts picking up smoking. She develops an eating disorder, and then she attends a punk show with a girl that she ends up meeting. And when she goes to her first punk show, her eyes just get opened to this whole new world. And as someone who remembers my first punk concert, and I went to a private Christian school, and then I got thrown into public school in my 8th grade year, and I didn't know anybody, and the first people that I really started talking to and made friends with were a bunch of punkers, and it made me want to get my dicky jacket with all my patches and my studs and just kind of rock out. I had to throw on some music and everything while I was reading this because it just was so fucking awesome to me. It was just so good, and just seeing her go through the whole punk scene the way I did, Okay, the next book is, I talked about it in a vlog as well, but I will go into it really quick, and I'm sure everybody here knows what it's about, knows about it. I'm totally late to the party, and that is Elentris by Brandon Sanderson. I loved this book so much. I got through this entire thing in like, I think a day and a half, 2 days, because I couldn't stop. I did the audiobook, and I will be reading the first book of the Mistborn series on audiobook too, because I just really enjoyed it. This is just something where I wanted to I had to follow along. Like, I laid down and I followed along completely with it because I needed to know what was happening. I was just swept away. I loved Brandon Sanderson's writing. This felt like a really good bridge between YA fantasy and adult fantasy, where it has amazing world building and stuff, but it doesn't feel super in depth where I didn't know what was going on at times and stuff. No, I followed along perfectly well. And then when I found out that people say that this is like his least well written book, I'm ready. I literally went out, I bought the rest of the I bought all of Mistborn. I bought the next part of, there's the other part of a sequel to Mistborn, and then there's the Stormlight one, and then I can't remember what the name of the thing is at this exact moment in time, because why, I don't know, I'm like blanking, but whatever. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I had no complaints. It was easy 5-star for me. Okay, this next one is another 5-star. I'm all into my 5 stars now, and we're coming up near the end. This book, if you watched any of my last, well, it was supposed to be my Reading Rush vlog that I did not put Reading Rush on because, yeah, if you know, you know. I read it during that. I wasn't supposed to read it during that. I picked it up because I was reading it for something else. I was supposed to be reading Nevernight for the Dark Academia book, but I'm stressing myself out with that book, so I switched to this one, and the entire time I was reading it, I was having like a fucking crisis because I didn't know if I liked it. I wanted to say I liked it, but I wasn't sure. And then it kept going, and it kept going, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck is happening? I was having literally like a crisis while reading this book, and that is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I still don't know. I don't know. It was so fucking good. I loved every page of it. I think I did. At first, I was kind of like, okay, what the fuck is happening? And then I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then at the end, I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, it was amazing, and I don't know if I like dark academia books now, but if I go off of this, then I think I do. But I need more of it. I want to reread this. It was phenomenal. The ending had me just messed up, and the whole book had me messed up. And there's some messed up people in this book, but I loved every page of it. I think I did. I think it's safe to say now that I did fucking love this book. Okay, the next book on here I've had on my shelf for a little while. I've always heard people talking about it. Everybody still talks about it 100%. And I always heard that you should listen to the audiobook, but since before I'd never done audiobooks, I never picked it up. But now that I am, I put in a request. I got my request early from the library, and I am so glad that I did do the audiobook, and that is Illuminati by Amy Kaufman and Jake Kristoff. This is a sci-fi fucking crazy ass damn book. Like, it's crazy. I listened to the audiobook, but I fully followed along with the book, which honestly I say is the best possible way to experience this book, because that's what this book is. It's a damn experience. There are, like, it's told in different kinds of, it's like a case files, and you have blueprints, and you've got crazy ass shit going on. Okay, this book is like Space Odyssey meets Event Horizon, and I wasn't ready. I was not fucking ready. I stayed up until almost 5 a.m. listening to the audiobook and following along because I had to do both. Like, there's so many things, like, if you just read the book, you miss the sound effects and the full cast, and if you just listen to the audiobook, you miss a lot of the visuals. So like I said, I feel like the only way to just fully experience this is to do both. And oh, I already bought the second book because I need it. I need it now because I need to know what's going to happen. Though I am a little bummed to find out that the second one is 2 new characters. I wasn't ready for that, but I'm ready. I need it. I need it. But yes, it is just, this book freaked me the fuck out as well. Like, why did no one tell me that this had like some creepiness going on in there? Because there was like one part where I like legit had to pause it because it was late at night. I only had my little lamp on, and I freaked myself the fuck out because I was not expecting that. This damn book was so good. Okay, these next 2 books are a series. I'm just going to talk about them together because I can't really say too much about them because I don't want to spoil it, and I am currently reading the 3rd book, and yo, I was not fucking ready. No one prepared me for this book. I have heard it mentioned, and everyone says they're really good, but I wasn't prepared. And I read Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel first, and then I picked up Illuminati. And then after Illuminati, I picked up Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. And that's a lot of crazy sci-fi shit going on. And I haven't read sci-fi in a very long time, so right now I'm just like overloaded on really good sci-fi. I did the audiobooks for both of these while also following along because these are told in the perspective of audio interviews. So yeah, let me tell you, the audiobooks are phenomenal. They're full cast and everything, and just holy crap. So this series is about a little girl who falls down a hole, and she wakes up and is found cradled in this giant hand. Well, from there, she eventually grows up and becomes a scientist, and eventually gets the government to pay for her to start studying exactly what this hand is, where it came from. Well, if there's a hand, there has to be more. And holy crap, is there more. But yes, read this series, enjoy it, tell me. If you have read it, did you like it? Did you not like it? I want to know, because I can't get enough of it. It's now one of my like new favorite, all-time favorite series, and I can definitely see myself reading it again, listening to it again. Like, I need it in my life. The author also wrote these short 5-page, does 5 pages count as a novella? They're like these little extras that two of them you read after this to avoid spoilers. One of them you read before this one. The other one you read after this one, and then there's a last one that you have to read after the last book. I don't know if that made sense, but whatever. But yes, read this series and join me in the abyss of just fucking really awesome sci-fi. I loved it so much. Okay, so there is my July wrap-up. I can't believe I read all these damn books. I really can't. I read a lot, and I loved them. And I had some really great books in here. I have like a whole bunch of new absolute favorite books because of this, and I just need them. If you've read any of these books, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them. So, yep, there we go. Those were the books that I read. I can't wait to read more books in August because I have a giant TBR. I am attempting to do 5 different readathons. I'm doing pretty well. Right now I'm on the first book for 3 of those. The other 2 take place later in August, so I'm not fully worried about those yet. I'll wait till the last minute and then freak out because holy shit, I have 2 more readathons that I'm not ready for. But there we go. I should go. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on any of these books, and take care and happy reading. Bye.